Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome everyone back. So today we're going to be looking at flat tire. So everyone gets a flat tire, right? Happens when it's least expected. And I know on YouTube there are a bunch of videos where individuals use jacks to break the bead on the tire. So removing the tire from the rim is not the problem, but the problem is breaking the bead, because it is really hard to break the bead in some cases if you don't have the correct tools. And I know, like I said, on YouTube they have a couple of videos where there are individuals using certain types of jacks and drills to break the bead on the tire. For me personally, I do not have those type of jacks, so the jack I do have is this bottle jack, and as you see, it does not have the twist type jack as the jacks that are shown on YouTube. As a mechanic, you improvise and you use what you have. So today, here's the board we grabbed laying around the house, and what we did is we just screwed it into the porch. So like I said, we're not trying to lift the vehicle here, we're just trying to break the bead. So what I did was I took the board, screwed in one side, and we're trying to make it, we want enough room to where the bottle jack can fit under. The bottle jacks are different sizes. So now we got the board screwed down. I mean, we don't need much to overcome the bead, but the opposite side is going to start to lift upwards. So I mean, if you have some center blocks, some other tires laying around, you could put on the other end of the tire, or even have someone just sit down on the other side. It's not going to hurt them. So what we're going to try to do is there's not a lot of space on these bottle jacks. We're going to try to sit it underneath, push it underneath the rim, between the rim and the tire as far as we can, and then use the jack to push against the board, pushing the tire away from the rim to break the bead. We are also going to try to level out, try to keep the jack straight up and down, so that the jack pushes straight downwards. And there you can see we pushed the jack in as far as we could underneath the rim, between the rim and the tire, so that the jack separates the tire from the rim. On the videos you see on YouTube, when they use a drill, they are able to connect it on, and it helps the jack, you see the jack extend quickly, because if you do it slowly, the jack will slide from the tire. So in this case, we're going to jack it up as quick as we can. So as we jack it up, I'm going to do my best to try to keep the jack between the rim and the tire. Like I said, if you do it slowly, it does slide on the tire and it slides away from the bead. So we just have to try to do this quick. So let's go look at our progress here. So the tire has moved away from the rim a pretty good amount. Like I said, we had to jack it up fast because the jack was starting to slide away. So this bar I found over in our junk pile over there, if you can see it. So what I did was I just filed it down just so we get a smooth surface. So we're going to use the tool to see if we can pry the tire from the rims. So in some cases we are going to have to reset it. I'm not going to get it on the first try. Not all tires are going to come off as easy. Some are going to be more difficult than others. Different tire sizes are going to could increase the difficulty. So what you're going to do is rotate the tire. On this side, we got it off like a good inch. So we're just going to work our way. We're just going to work our way around the rim. And if you go online, there are additional tools to help break the bead. So in this case, there's a sledgehammer looking tool with a point on the end that is used to swing at the tire, and you have to actually aim right between the tire and the rim to help break the bead. So with that concept, what I did was I cut this board I had, this piece of 2x4 I had lying around, and I cut it at a point, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is stick this board right between the rim and the tire to help break the bead. Just going to hit the other end with a hammer. As you can see there, we are starting to make some progress. When we first started off, the tire came off about that far. Now it has moved down a good 3 inches maybe. So we're gonna have to go around the tire until the tire is completely separated. It is not going to be easy, but like I said, you know, life happens and you can't always dish out the money. I mean, you're gonna have to cough up $80 to $100 for a tire itself. New tire, I would not recommend going with used. Used tires do not last. They are iffy, they could pop. The tire I got is a new tire. I ordered it online. It's a lot cheaper online versus going to the store for it. But I mean, if you go to an actual tire shop, you do get warranty with it where you don't have to mess with it like this. But I don't make that much money, so I went with the cheaper route, buying a new tire online. If you have the money to go into town, you got the extra $20 $25 for a balance, tire change out, and the disposal fee, which ranges around $30 altogether plus tax. I mean, hey, more power to you. If you can afford that, then you can go into town. But I mean, like I said, in some cases you can't always, you don't always have the extra money to go into town to do the simple things. And I just wanted to show you that with the bottle jack, like I said, on YouTube they have certain types of jacks that can do the job a lot easier. But I mean, not everybody has the correct tools, and you do have to improvise sometimes. Just now we got the bead broken all the way around the tire. It does take a little time and effort, but using the bottle jack, it is possible. And I didn't have, my small hammer wasn't enough weight when I was hammering on this board, so I had to use this old drive line from a vehicle I worked on. It helps separate the tire from the rim. Flip the tire around and do this side. So on this side of the tire, we actually got lucky. Jacked it down one time and it actually separated the bead, and all I had to do was pry around it. So I'm going to be using these two hammers to get underneath. So I'm using this bar to pry the tire over the rim. But before we start, we're going to push this side down. On that end of the tire, we're going to be pushing the tire downward, and it's going to go underneath the lip of the rim. As you can see it here, there's some space down here. So we want this tire to sit way down here at the bottom on that end, and that'll give us some play on this end for the tire to be able to pry the tire over this portion of the rim and just work our way around until the tire is completely off the rim. So if you got help, you can have someone hold this side down. If you don't, there's nothing wrong with just stepping on it, and then you can come on this side and start prying it over. Use one hammer just to help hold it. That way you can continue to work your way around with the bar. Continue to pry it off. This tire is trash, so you don't gotta be, but the rim you want to be careful with. So if you have a nice rim, you don't want to be trying to scrape it up like I'm doing, but my rims are used up. I don't have nice pretty chrome 22-inch spinners, so I'm not worried about my rim. So from here, you got the tire pried over as far as you can pretty much, and then just start hitting the bead here, but you have to be careful not to hit the rim. As you're hammering it down, you're going to apply pressure to this side. That way there is pressure on the rim, there is pressure on the tire, so it helps slide off of the rim. And as you're making progress, just take your bar, slide it over as far as you can, pry it downwards. Be careful of your rim. If it's a pretty rim. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And the tire can be removed from the rim, even though you don't have the correct bottle jack. You just got to improvise. Can be done. So before I go, taking the old tire off is the hard part. Because of how long the tire has been sitting on the rim, it gets stuck on there pretty good when you're putting on the new tire. But if you are having difficulty, one thing you can do is take a wire brush and brush right around where the tire has to slip on. The tire can seat, will go on a lot smoother, and you won't have to fight it as much. Two, so that the bead seats properly against the rim, so that the air doesn't end up leaking out. On top of that, these little dirt right here and rust right here can also cause an air leak. So you want to get a wire brush, make sure you clean that off. All I really wanted to show everybody is how to use this type of bottle jack to get that tire off the rim. So the rest of us that don't have the extra cash for it, this is the way you can go. It'll take a little time and effort. As long as you have some patience, it can be done, people. So thanks for watching.